Hey there, I'm so happy you're here. I'm Dr. Maria Luque with Fitness and Menopause, and today I wanted to take a minute to kind of explain why I've decided to do fitness and menopause and how the fitness aspect in my personal circumstances over the years have changed how I looked at fitness in general. Just to give you a little background, I'm a Air Force veteran, and I've incurred some injuries in the military that have left me a little challenged with some of the workouts that I used to do. And I have a herniation in my neck, and I've dislocated my shoulders. I have a tear in my hip. And so all of these things have made it kind of difficult to follow my normal routine that I used to do, which was a lot of really high intensity stuff that I really like to do. And I still like to do those things. However, just for longevity, I've had to really adjust how I work out. And now, being in that perimenopausal stage, now I notice that some workouts are getting my heat up. So I do feel like my core temperature is rising with certain types of workouts more than others. So I've been using myself as a guinea pig to try to figure out what works for me. And again, I want to say this always, you kind of have to treat yourself as a guinea pig. There's a lot of guidelines out there. You should always work out and exercise and be physically active. Those are all really great things, but certain things are going to work for you and certain things are going to work for someone else. And also your priorities might be different than my priorities. So for me overall, I've always wanted to stay strong, and having a 4-year-old, you always want to be stronger, to last, to be able to pick her up, and to all of those things that are important in life for me. Those might not be the same things for you. So lately, I have been trying out I've been reading a lot on high volume training for middle-aged women, and the benefits that has from a hormonal response and from a strength response and just overall body fat. And so for the last couple of months, I've been doing really high volume, high set training, resistance training for different body parts to kind of figure out how my body responds to it. And I have to say, it was challenging in the beginning because my mindset's always like, I want to go fast, I want to go furious, I want to burn a lot. Like my mind always wants to keep going. So having to slow down and have more rest has been really challenging. And maybe I should take a step back to kind of explain what high volume means. So high volume really just means that you're doing more repetition per set. Or per exercise, per round. So traditionally, you'll see the 3 sets per exercise for like 12 to 15 repetitions, or like 5 to 8, depending on what your goal is. So that's kind of like the magic number. Most people do like 3 sets of something. In this scenario, I do 6 to 8, sometimes even 10 sets of one exercise. So for instance, if I do squats or leg presses or anything, it'll be 10 sets. And it's been from a high intensity perspective, because it's really not high intensity. It's kind of like a slower burn. I go slightly heavier. From a strength perspective, I've seen incredible gains in strength without adding any real size to my muscles, which is not really something that I'm looking for these days. So I want to get stronger, but I don't necessarily want to get bigger, which is also a lot what women come up. I don't want to bulk up, or I don't want to get bigger. I just want to get stronger. And so this approach for me has worked really good. So I have a blog that I've written, so you can head over to my website at fitnessandmenopause.com to kind of read more about just like the science behind high volume training, and maybe giving it a try. So again, I've used myself as a guinea pig. It works for me. It doesn't tend to increase my core temperature quite as much as other more multi-joint exercises. So I tend to do these high volume sessions with single joint or like very basic exercises, so I can kind of go heavier and progressively load. Sometimes I do pyramids, so I go up in weight and then I go back down. But in the end, it is about really loading up the repetitions and the volume on the same exercise in the same muscle group for a specific amount of time. So give it a try. If you have questions, head on over to the website, again, fitnessandmenopause.com. I have an entire article dedicated to the science behind it and some tips on how to do it, and maybe like a little beginner session of what I'm doing. And one big thing though that I forgot to mention is when you do high volume training, first of all, if you're getting into it, very easy. So always add like one more set. Don't go heavy and high volume. Like that's a real, like you're asking for injury. So always like progressively small increments, small increases in weight, small increases in volume, more repetitions and more sets. So you don't start out with 10 sets at your heaviest weight. That would not be advised. And you want to give yourself plenty of rest afterwards. So for me, I only do high volume once a week. And I change the body parts that I do it for. So again, head on over to the site, fitnessandmenopause.com. If you have questions, leave a message on the blog. I've always liked to share information. You can always find me on Facebook as well. So go on over there, fitnessandmenopause.com. And again, we know what the most important thing is. You stay curious, unafraid, and armed with knowledge. See you soon.